about the cloud. We're going to talk about Facebook Cloud. They have, what is it called? What is the article? The article is from Engadget. It's Facebook's cloud gaming service. Facebook's cloud gaming service hits iOS devices as a web app. I didn't even know it was an app, let alone a web app. But you know, I don't know, man. Like, all right, so Facebook gaming, they've already had the gaming platform where they're a social media company. You know, Facebook sees themselves as a social media entity. And they had like a gaming section for a while, for a long time.
They did.
You could be playing games with your friends and stuff like that. During that whole, what was it, the Cambridge Analytica period, when they found out that other companies were essentially digging into Facebook's API, pulling out data and using that data to determine votes and whatnot, like the voting, like how people were voting and whatnot, or determine to try to campaign on people, the ads that they were pushing to people.
Basically do what Google do. Yeah.
But I mean, the difference was that they were pulling it out and they were holding on to the data. That was the issue with Cambridge Analytica, is that they were holding on to the data. But those were just different type of apps. Those are those type of apps, the questionnaires and stuff like, do I look like a frog or what type of lizard am I? Weird questionnaires.
What celebrity do I look like the most?
They used to have they had the API open for that, and that was the same API that they were using for gaming. So they had these third-party games that could hop on it, but they killed all of that for the most part because of the whole Cambridge Analytica stuff. Because people were stealing data out of Facebook, they locked it down and said you really gotta be with Facebook to kind of use the data now.
Ain't no just using the API for your own purposes no more.
Yeah, exactly. You can't use it for your own thing. You can't hold on to the stuff because it was part of the policy that you had to let go of that data. Like you had to make sure that it was destroyed. You couldn't just keep large databases of all that data because you had it. I mean, you got to get rid of it after you use it. But with that, like they had the gaming system, but that wasn't official. So they closed that out because of the app situation, the API situation. Then they came back with game streaming. So like they did game stream. Facebook gaming is now not really the game so much, but it's the game streaming where you live streaming, people got company pages where basically they posting their game videos and stuff like that. They live stream, they get points and coins and stuff like that. But this whole cloud gaming service is a little bit different. They actually talking about essentially being a game service provider, which is more in the realm of Xbox and PlayStation and like Nintendo even. And iOS and Android, because Android and iOS, they got the Play Store, they got the App Store, and you can get your games from there. But they added on the layer of cloud game streaming. So actually not just having a game that's you still got to download it. It's just you download it through Facebook. This is just actually having a game that's in the cloud and all you're doing is streaming it, and you the game isn't even on your device. It's in the cloud and all you sending back is input, like your joystick controller, the buttons that you press.
But yeah, I mean, I think what's weird about that though, dude. And I was actually we said it a little bit when you first started. Is that was actually in the title somewhere along. I heard it when you were speaking about how it's like it's not a it's a streaming service. But the thing is, though, it's like they went through so many different changes, and it's like they had their Facebook has had their ups and downs when it comes to gaming, right? Paraphrasing a lot of what you're saying, but what I found interesting about this is that it seems like, they're running into the same, I don't want to say the same issue, but, it's how can I put it? So earlier I was actually on IG and was looking at, I do my old video gaming thing and seeing a lot of people saying they're like Facebook gaming advocates or something like that. And I'm like, what is this? I never, I never paid attention to when I be getting those requests like, oh, such and such sent you X amount of points or like these thug. You remember all the stuff that you get in Messenger. I never would pay attention to it. But now it seems like because of all of what's happened, they're switching and trying to capitalize on the idea of becoming a hardcore streaming service. So, I mean, I really think that honestly that so the streaming, it's super saturated now, right? Like you think you hear streaming, right? And I think we're gonna get more into it in another article, but you typically think of when I guess game streaming, of course, your PlayStations, although they don't really like to try to sell more consoles, right? But your Xbox and all that. But I think Facebook. They have like a campaign going where they're trying to get people to go more that route, but it's already super saturated. So, I mean, I honestly feel that it's especially how it's being delivered. Be it that Apple has that what do you call it? So the way that it works is that you don't actually have to you don't add the ability to play like access the Facebook. It's not like an app that you can download, right? And then you go to it, and then you have to actually go to do the Facebook like game streaming through a web application, which is I feel like kind of janky, from definitely from like an IT perspective. But all in all, I think what they're trying to do it's in my humble honest opinion, I feel like it's gonna flop. They have their lane, and them trying to pivot to this. I could be wrong because I wasn't into the Facebook gaming as much, but I just don't. When I think of gaming, I don't think of Facebook. I think of who we've always thought about when it comes to gaming. You got your Microsofts and your PlayStations and stuff like that. But
when it comes to the what do you say the fact that like Facebook has like this aura about them, like this, like they're seen as social media. They are seen as just like really a communication network. When it comes to them being seen as anything outside of that, you really gotta be suspicious about why they doing that other business. With the web app portion, the issue with that really, I mean, it's Facebook. It's janky because Apple sort of is making it janky.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like they making it like everybody has to be janky right now. Like if you have a game streaming service, for the most part, like Stadia, Amazon got Luna, Xbox has Xbox Cloud and or X Cloud. All of those services, for the most part, they gotta use a web app right now because you can't use. They won't, because Apple won't let you do it on iOS. And that's the thing. It's not even like if you want Android, you can just download the app and keep going. And get it out the way. I mean, you download the app, there's no conflict of interest. But if you're Apple, and they do it real smooth, like they don't even say that it's like, they don't say it's the competition factor. Apple has Apple Arcade. And they don't say, we competing with this product, so we don't want y'all to win. They say it's because y'all sell stuff through the app. And the stuff that you're selling through the app doesn't go through our payment process. And if you were to sell it through the payment process, you got to pay Apple 30%.
Right, 30%. That's a hefty amount.
And they added on with that. That's what they added on with that. It was like, if for every game that they do, you got to create a separate app. Like you can't just use the one portal app. You can't use the one app and just use that to get you in to all the apps. And that was the argument that they had was like Netflix. You don't have to download an app for every movie you're watching. You just download the one app and you watch all the movies. They were like, it should be the same concept. I got this one app and I can download I can play all these games. I ain't even downloading. I'm just streaming them. I'm just watching them, interacting with them. But like with Apple's iOS rules, with the App Store rules, they because a game is an application. It's an app essentially. So each one of these applications, even if you're streaming it, you gotta go have an individual app for each one, and that's how you got to do it. And if you charging them, you got to pay that 30%.
Right.
So they making it hard intentionally. They make it so you got to do that
and this
PWA concept.
And that's the reason why I feel like Facebook is going to have a hard time breaking into this, is because I don't think Facebook has any like strong Facebook gaming. I'll put it like this: if Facebook gaming had like a strong title that like carried that, that part of Facebook, where it's like, okay, we go to Facebook to play this like specific game that's like, super addicting and all that stuff like that. I feel like if they had that component, they wouldn't have to deal with, or it wouldn't be like, a big deal, having having those hiccups of, hosting the having to jump through the hoops they have to jump through in order to, have this stuff on Apple, right? But
right.
But because they don't have it, it's like, what's the point? Like that, like you said, Apple has it set up where, they feel like each individual application, like each individual game you have needs to be a standalone application, right? So that's already overhauled, right? You got to deal with the, say for instance, Facebook gaming has 50 games on it. I don't know how much they have, but 50 games. Now you got to put together, for each one of these 50 games, a separate, a separate portal where, people are able to access it. And
Right.
you have to, you got to think maybe because of the type of gaming platform that, Facebook gaming is, people may like to switch back and forth in between the games and stuff like that. But now you got to exit the app, pull it back up and then refresh the browser. So I'm like, unless they focus on putting some type of plan, some type of initiative in place in order for them to become more prominent, right? And I don't think it would be too hard for them, being that Facebook has the users, right? 2.3 billion people on Facebook, like they have the list. It's just, I feel like how they going about doing it is probably not the best way.
Yeah. I mean, they got two major roadblocks. The first one is the ease of use or ease of access. I mean, and that's probably the easier part for them. They could, even though it's a web app, the whole point with the app store is that it's easy to find stuff. You can just type in the app, you find the app. Without that, it's kind of hard, but because Facebook is the number one app in usage, and then number two is Instagram, all they gotta do is put an ad in there. They put an ad in the feed. They ever just say is click on here to play Facebook gaming now. They click on it, opens up a new tab in the browser, opens up Facebook gaming through the progressive web app. And then a pop-up say, do you want to install it? Install it. I mean, and it ain't no install. All it is really is just a link to an app. I mean, with an icon on it, or a link to a URL to a website. And they make it that easy. The second part is like what you're saying, is like you gotta have games. Like, exactly. What are you gonna play? Like, what I ain't gonna do all this if I was just all I'm gonna play is poker. Like, I can just get the cards out. Like, even with things like Stadia and Luna, Stadia got they working on it. Luna, they had a independent like custom game that they were coming. You would call them, like exclusive games and shit. They had their own
indie games, some of that.
Yeah, they had their own stuff that they was coming out with, and they like got rid of it. But Stadia, I know they recently talked about how they working with Unity and EA, so that all the games that are made in Unity, EA working there. Not EA.
They already got a strong Destiny 2 fan base. So Destiny is one of the biggest games of all time, I believe. So
and most of that was because they give it for free. Because Destiny already is after a DLC is done or two, they basically give the previous one for free. So like they got it off of the you don't even got to pay nothing. If you just want to try Stadia, you can just go to Stadia, sign up, and play Destiny, if nothing else. I mean, and it's like that. That makes it easier for them. But even they don't have like exclusive game that is like, this is the reason why you need cloud gaming. Their convenience really is coming in from just not having these daggone chips, man. But That's the main thing. It's like, yo, you can't get a PlayStation. You can't get a PlayStation 5. You can't get an Xbox One or
So
Xbox
what
One
we
X or whatever they call it. Then, yeah, I mean, you gotta. What you gonna do? You just
They
gonna
need
keep
to
playing
do
those
a,
same old
speaking on
games?
that. Speaking on that, I know we transition over, but I just wanted to say real quick, and it's definitely as I digress. Xbox needs to come up with a better way to name their consoles, man. Like it's like it
Yeah,
seems like
yeah,
for the past two gens, it's been X something with X in it. Like, come
yeah,
on, just get your
yeah.
iterations correct, man.
I mean, yeah, they should just say Xbox. Just like Xbox 2, Xbox 3. You can
Right.
say, if you want to be a little bit different, you say 3.0,
Yeah,
4.0.
yeah, that's it.
I
Yeah.
mean, just but the whole Series X, Series S, 1X,
Yeah,
1S,
like,
like, yeah, I mean, like,
it sound like it sound like iPhone land. That's what it sounds like.
you knew something was off when they went 360. Yeah, I mean, it was like you
Well,
had Xbox and then you had Xbox 360. Where Xbox 2 go? Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, we just all right. We just
Right.
want to do full circle all around. We just want to say it's full circle. All right, whatever.
You know what
But
they
then
do?
Xbox One, like, all right, I thought this the third one.
That's what
Was it?
I was. They gonna come out the next one. They gonna hear this podcast. And be like, all right, this is actually the next joint. The next gen is gonna be Xbox Two.
Yeah,
Although it's been five
exactly.
of them that came out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's
Whatever.
going. It is. Um,